Good evening, everyone. My name is Doris Wojciak.
And I'm Jillian Hardy-Legault.
And we will be your hosts this evening. On behalf of ourselves and our other 2021 graduation committee members, Jordan Wojcichin, Elizabeth Jonah, Courtney Yu, and Natalie Thompson, we'd like to welcome you to our virtual graduation banquet for the University of Alberta Faculty of Law class of 2021.
While this has been an unprecedented year filled with many changes and challenges, we are so excited to be able to virtually spend this evening with all of you, our fellow classmates, family, friends, and members of the faculty. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us to celebrate this milestone.
Tonight, we are celebrating an accomplishment that we couldn't have achieved without the support of our friends, family, professors, mentors, and so many others who have been there for us while we have faced the challenges of law school. This is your celebration as much as it is ours.
This evening's program will include speeches, toasts, awards, and a stroll down memory lane. But before we begin with the formal program, we would like to take a moment to recognize our sponsors, with whose support we were able to not only host this virtual graduation banquet, but also to provide each graduating student with a gift. So thank you to Fasken, RMRF, and Bennett Jones for their generous contributions in support of the class of 2021.
Finally, while we know that tonight's banquet isn't exactly what we had planned or hoped for, we hope that it will be memorable in its own special way, and that you take this night to virtually celebrate your accomplishments with your friends and family. To that end, we encourage you to arrange video calls with your friends and family, take pictures, and reflect upon the memories that got us to this very special moment.
With all of that said, we will now begin the formal program for the evening. Up first, we will welcome to the screen the Law Students Association President, Tony Bazoo, who will be presenting 2 awards tonight. Over the past 3 years, Tony has been an integral member of our student community, and we would like to thank him especially for his leadership during this most unusual year. So, without further ado, here's Tony Bazoo.
The David R. Percy Excellence in Student Leadership Award is an annual award voted on and given by the Law Students Association to a member of our graduating class. This award is given to a student who is not on the LSA executive, but has shown themselves to be a true leader in our faculty. It is meant to recognize someone that our class can look back on and be instantly reminded of fond memories of someone who was passionate about improving our community, patient when working with their classmates in and out of the classroom, and above all else, a valued friend that everyone can appreciate. When it comes to awards given by the Faculty of Law, you would be hard-pressed to find an award that is more competitive across each and every class of graduates. The recipients of this award have been playwrights, hockey captains, entrepreneurs, social activists, and brilliant academics. Though what the recipients of this award have done with their time in our faculty has been different every year, each winner has had a common thread to their law school experience. They have been individuals who led by example when it came to supporting their friends, classmates, and the faculty as a whole in both their actions and their attitude. Without their presence in the Law Center, the experience of everyone would have been drastically different and lesser for it. The recipient of this year's award is no different in this regard from their predecessors. From the early days of fall 2018, the recipient of this award has been an active member of the student body. While it's difficult to list all the ways she has contributed to this faculty, I'll go over just a couple. As a member of SLS, she trained and provided guidance for multiple volunteers, many of whom never stepped into a courtroom before, in order to efficiently provide legal assistance to low-income individuals in Edmonton and surrounding municipalities. As a dancer in Law Show, not only did she bring dance moves to the table, she was an enthusiastic and positive presence during an uncertain year for the Law Show. as a passionate advocate for the environment. She has also been a pivotal leader in the Environmental Law Students Association throughout law school, organizing valuable student services, such as the used book sale and the Edmonton native plant seed sale. I'm also told that she has an amazing cat and, at best, a mediocre boyfriend. I hope Nick doesn't take that line too hard. As impressive as these accomplishments are, it is the consistently empathetic and kind personality that makes this individual the perfect recipient of this award. This year's winner has left an impact on each and every one of us, whether it be acting in one of her many leadership roles or just being a friend when you really need one. I can't imagine anyone who embodies the spirit of student excellence in leadership more than our winner. With no further ado, it is my honor to present the 2021 David R. Percy QC Excellence in Student Leadership Award to Vista Namdarian. The Ron Hop Award is an annual award given out by the LSA to a faculty member that has played the most impactful role for our graduating class. This award is given to a professor that goes above and beyond, both inside and outside of the classroom. It is meant to recognize professors who have gone out of their way to be mentors to their students, provide guidance as they navigate the larger legal world, create atmospheres in their classrooms that all students can engage in, and that keep the good of students in mind when they're behind the scenes. The winners of this award in the past have been vice deans, Supreme Court justices, and of course, it's named after the one and only Ron Hop. The recipient of this year's award will not be a surprise if you've taken a class with him. He is someone who has gone above and beyond this year to ensure that his students learn their material, but also has made sure that they feel heard. Our winner demonstrated flexibility and a noted amount of understanding this year. Not only did he innovate the delivery of classes that he has years of experience teaching, he made sure that he was present for students that needed him. There's a reason why everyone says you need to take a class with this professor before you graduate. More than anything else, he has been whatever we have needed him to be. He's been a mentor, a confidant, and a brilliant academic who has managed to teach countless students who have never taken an accounting class the fundamentals of tax law. Please join me in giving a round of applause to 2021 Ron Hop Award recipient, Professor Christopher Spryzak.
Congratulations to Vista Namdarian and Professor Chris Spryzak on their awards. We truly appreciate your contributions to our school community and look forward to hearing about your accomplishments in the future. Next, we welcome to the screen another person whose thoughtful leadership over the past year has been very much appreciated, and that is our very own Dean Barbara Billingsley, who will provide some welcoming remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, and congratulations to the University of Alberta Faculty of Law class of 2021. As you know, this is my first year as Dean, and so this is my first opportunity to offer congratulations at this traditional annual event, the graduation formal, albeit in its first ever virtual form. I hope that you are ready to celebrate. 31 years ago, I was sitting where you are now. Well, not literally where you are now, but speaking figuratively, I was in your position. And yes, I am painfully aware of the fact that back then, many of you were not even born yet. But like you, I was once a law student at this faculty, with just a few weeks of classes and a handful of exams standing between me and my law degree. Like you, I was standing on the threshold of my legal career, thinking about all that I'd been through since I started law school, and wondering what was waiting for me on the other side of the law center doors. So, as you stand on this threshold this evening, I'd like to invite you to reflect on and appreciate 3 fundamental truths about this moment. First, as proud as you are to be nearly done your law degree, and you should be proud, you didn't get to this point alone. You are standing firmly on the shoulders of others, your partners, your family, your friends, who have supported you in a myriad of ways over the past 3 years. Some of these people may have been with you your whole life, and others may have only come into your life during law school. But whenever they arrived, it was the right time. They have been there to prop you up when life was bringing you down, to offer guidance when you were losing your way, or just to share a much-needed coffee break or to kick back and watch a hockey game. And tonight, they deserve your thanks. Second, the study of law has changed you. You now have a specialized vocabulary and distinct problem-solving skills. You have learned to think like a lawyer. This is something that you might not instantly recognize about yourself, because you have been largely immersed in an environment where most people around you have been undergoing the same transformative process. But it's absolutely true. Think back to your first day of law school, before you'd ever briefed a case, participated in a moot, or written a law exam. Back then, you probably didn't know what it meant to brief a case, or what a moot is. You likely did not fully understand that a tort could be something other than a fancy French cake, or that a poison pill is not something that you necessarily digest, or that the genuinely correct answer to virtually every legal question is, it depends. What you have learned in law school has irrevocably transformed you, and it has empowered you to understand the world in a new way. And here, I'll pause for just a second to remind you of the wise words of Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. As future members of the legal profession, it falls to you to steadfastly protect the rule of law, to vigorously defend the respectful exchange of divergent views in the pursuit of truth, justice, and equality, and to help give voice to those who cannot speak for themselves. As you progress through your legal career, whatever that looks like, and whatever path you take, you have the opportunity to be a mentor for those who follow, to pass on the hard-won lessons you have learned, and to make space within the profession for others to pursue their own paths. It falls to you to balance the valuable and noble traditions of our profession with a healthy and necessary momentum for social change, particularly in relation to issues of diversity and inclusion. I'm confident that as graduates of the University of Alberta Faculty of Law, you have the tools you need to pursue these challenges. Third, as University of Alberta Law graduates, you've become part of a community that will endure long after you graduate. You have forged friendships and created common memories with your classmates through your shared experiences in classes and through your participation in any number of student groups and events. Student Legal Services, Law Show, the Law Students Association, the Indigenous Law Students Association, the Black Law Students Association, the Women's Law Forum, the Alberta Law Review, the Canons of Construction, Outlaw, the Runnymede Society, the list goes on. You have experienced the instant boost that only a coffee served up by Steve McDermott in the Hello My Friend Cafe can provide. You have benefited from the always speedy but infinitely calming technical assistance provided by Tim Young. And you have collectively persevered through the experience of completing your third year of law school during the COVID pandemic, which has meant adapting to doing everything virtually and finding ways to continue to learn together, even while staying physically apart. On that note, let me say how enormously proud I am of the response of this class and of our faculty to the many obstacles we faced as a result of COVID. I do not take for granted the personal commitment that each of you made to this effort. Your goodwill and your cooperation has far exceeded anything I could have hoped for as a rookie dean. When you look back on this year, I hope that you do so with a sense of accomplishment and pride, not just for having completed your law degree, but for having done so in the midst of such difficult and unprecedented circumstances. Of course, we haven't been able to replicate the collegiality of getting together in person this year. I trust that as a class you're looking forward to making up for lost time on this in the future, and the Faculty of Law will be pleased to host some functions to contribute to that process, and I look forward to seeing you all in person at those gatherings. But also remember that the Faculty of Law community that you now belong to reaches well beyond your classmates. It includes all of the people who have passed through our faculty before you. People like former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada, Beverly McLaughlin, former Alberta Premier Peter Lougheed, Violet King, Willie Littlechild, Chief Justice of Alberta Catherine Fraser, and Chief Justice of the Alberta Court of Queen's Bench Mary Morrow. As a graduate of the University of Alberta Faculty of Law, you are, as they say, in very good company. In closing, I'd like you to think back one more time to your very first day of law school. Orientation Day, September 4th, 2018. You were addressed then by Justice Russell Brown of the Supreme Court of Canada. As you know, Justice Brown was a professor at our faculty before his appointment to the bench. In his address to you on that first day, he spoke about his affinity for the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. He said, "My affection for this law school is limitless, and I take militant pride in my association with it, and I hope you will too, because the contribution of this law school to the administration of justice in Canada is truly extraordinary." Tonight, as we celebrate your pending graduation from the University of Alberta Faculty of Law, I heartily echo Justice Brown's sentiments, and I hope that you do too. Congratulations and enjoy tonight's celebration.
Thank you, Dean Billingsley, for those kind words. Before we move on to the toasts, however, we will once again welcome Dean Billingsley to present the Honourable Cecilia Johnstone Equality Award on behalf of Mr. John Day. We would like to thank Mr. Day for his generous support and for taking the time to virtually join us this evening. This award allows the faculty to annually recognize a student who has made an outstanding contribution to social equality in the community or at law school, and it is my honor to once again welcome Dean Billingsley to the screen for its presentation.
It is now my honor to present the Honourable Cecilia Johnstone Equality Award. I present this award on behalf of Mr. John Day, Justice Johnstone's spouse, who I believe is watching tonight's celebrations. This award was endowed in 2009 by the family, friends, and colleagues of Justice Cecilia Johnstone. Justice Johnstone graduated from the University of Alberta Faculty of Law in 1974 and passed away in 2006 after a long battle with cancer. Justice Johnstone spent much of her legal career fighting for equal rights for those working in the justice system and those who come before it. As the first female president of the Canadian Bar Association, she fought to implement recommendations urging equal treatment for lawyers, mostly women, who took time away from their careers to raise children. In memory of her contributions, this award is annually presented to a graduating student with satisfactory academic standing who has made an outstanding contribution to social equality in the community or at law school. Recipients of the award have demonstrated a passion for fairness, compassion for those in need, and a proven commitment of excellence and leadership in equality issues. This year's recipient of the Honourable Cecilia Johnstone Award is Dennis Ram. Dennis Ram was unanimously selected for this award based on his record of service and advocacy. He has been an activist, combating systemic racism in Alberta, targeting social equality in the community. He led a project to develop a police complaint app, which won the 2020 UAlberta Access to Justice Technology Competition. Dennis is presently working with Calgary City Council on anti-racism initiatives. He is committed to continue his advocacy work after law school and to use his law degree to passionately advocate for equality. Please join me in congratulating Dennis Ram on this well-deserved award.
Congratulations to Dennis Ram. We're so excited to see the great contributions you'll bring to the legal community in the future. We will now move on to the toasts. Each year, our graduation banquet has 3 toasts, one to the faculty, one to the family, and one to the students. This year, Aiden Paul will provide the toast to the faculty. Throughout law school, Aidan has been heavily involved in the faculty's competitive mooting program, winning the Dean's Cup, the Brimacombe, and the Gale Cup. In addition, Aidan has worked as an SLS day leader, participated in law show as a dancer, and played rugby with the Golden Barristers, and he now serves as a writing fellow to our first-year students. Please join us in welcoming Aidan Paul.
Good evening. My name is Aidan Paul, and I'm honored to be making tonight's toast to the faculty. I'd like to start with a personal anecdote, because as an incoming law student, I remember going to the Dean's Welcome, and there was a great emphasis that was placed on the community here at the Faculty of Law. And at the time, it all struck me as a little bit too good to be true. But 3 years later, I can confidently tell you that that's not the case. Because if you were to ask my family and my friends, I have no doubt that they would tell you our conversations, if you can even call them that, often sound more like a sales pitch for the faculty. Because the community here is truly incredible and is far more than the sum of its parts. And I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize those parts tonight. To our professors, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your love of the law. Your influence will be present in everything we do in the years to come, be it the contracts we draft, the appearances we make, and our advocacy, our advice to our clients. I'd also like to thank you for your support and your patience over the past 3 years, because you have suffered our questions and our confusion with the utmost grace. And as we become teachers and mentors in our own right, we should remind ourselves of the impact you've had on our lives. To Student Services, you are at the heart of this experience. You've supported us through our toughest times so that we can focus on learning the law. I'd like to personally thank you for feeding me more in my first year of law school than I fed myself. Career Services, you've helped us navigate what comes next and make some of the biggest decisions of our lives. You've welcomed our panicked calls before, during, and after the recruit. Tim, I suspect that every student on the call tonight can remember a time when you swooped in and you saved the day. And I didn't think it was possible, but I have no doubt you've been doing that even more than normal while we've been remote. Steve, hello my friend is an inseparable part of law school, and it brings students and faculty together. I'd like to think your after-hours honor system has been silently preparing all of us for the good character requirement. I couldn't possibly recognize everyone tonight that deserves recognition, but to everyone at the Faculty of Law, you have had a tremendous impact on our experience, both inside and outside of the classroom. You've been trusted advisors to student clubs, to student legal services. You've been coaches, practice judges, and subject matter experts for our moots. And you've joined us to celebrate our accomplishments on the law show stage, on the rugby pitch, in the moot courtroom, and here tonight. But this toast is meant to celebrate your accomplishments, because you have all made law school an unforgettable experience, and will be leaving with a heavy heart. But going forward, we stand on the foundation that you have built over the last 3 years, and our accomplishments will be the direct result of your dedication and your unwavering support. And with that said, I would like everyone to join me by raising a glass for the Faculty of Law. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, Aidan, for your wonderful toast. We will next welcome Courtney Yu, who will provide the toast to the family. Throughout law school, Courtney has been a cornerstone of our school community. She's been involved as a member of the 2021 grad committee, as both a 1L representative and vice president academic for the Law Students Association, as a member of the Panda Barristers Rugby Club, and as an actor in law show each year. This year, she was also a major part of the team who brought the faculty's first ever virtual law show to your screens in her capacity as an executive director. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Courtney Yu to the screen.
Good evening, class of 2021, family, friends, faculty, and anyone who may be joining us virtually tonight. My name is Courtney Yu, and it is with great pleasure I am before you to honor the families and support networks that we as students have relied on in our 3 years of law school. First, a warm welcome to family and friends, but also my sincerest apologies that you have a law graduate in your life. It is not easy dealing with a strong-minded, intelligent, type A, and often neurotic and very moody individual. I know my parents, brother, and family find this quite the handful. Although I like to say I'm only a culmination of my genes and upbringing, so they brought this upon themselves. But don't worry, as a token of our gratitude for putting up with us, we will be providing you with unsolicited legal advice for the rest of your lives. And then billing you for that time, because that phone call was a solid point too, and quote, if we don't value our time, who will? In all seriousness, on behalf of the students, I would like to extend the biggest thank you to those loved ones who have allowed us to make it through law school with our JDs and sane minds. Well, mostly sane minds. It is a rewarding but incredibly challenging 3 years. I know for myself, I am deeply grateful for my family, friends, and support networks without whom I would not have survived. To everyone else's loved ones, thank you for shaping my classmates and friends into the people who have made these 3 years so wonderful. I know without you, they would not be the people who make our faculty so amazing. So, we thank you for your endless patience, encouraging words, listening ears, shoulders to cry on, and the unending list of things you've done for us as students. So wherever you may be joining us from, raise your glass, tip your hats to the extraordinary families that have supported us through this journey. Cheers. We love you and absolutely could not have done this without you. Thanks.
Thank you, Courtney, for your lovely toast, and again, thank you to all of our friends and family. Last, but certainly not least, Professor Christopher Samuel will join us to give the toast to the students. Professor Samuel began at the University of Alberta Faculty of Law at the same time as our graduating class. Each and every one of us has had the pleasure of interacting with Professor Samuel through his legal research and writing program, where we stumbled our way through our first legal briefs, memos, factums, and moots. Lrw is a capstone of the 1L experience, and Professor Samuel has remained a capstone of our law school experience as a result. Please join me in welcoming Professor Chris Samuel.
Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to be giving this toast to the graduating class today. Uh-oh. Looks like I've got a filter on. Oh dear. Can you hear me, class? I'm here. I'm not a cat. Let me try to turn off this filter. Okay, I think I fixed it. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been asked to deliver the toast to the graduating class on behalf of the faculty, and I could not be more excited to do it today. As many of you know, your first year at the law school was also my first year as a full-time member of staff, and not only that, it was the first year for 7 of our professors as well. Professors Eisen, Lindbergh, Michelle, Nichols, Nye, Razzo, Seghetti. All of us have never known a day at this law school without having you as our students. So the first thing I want to say before I say anything else is to say thank you. And not thank you just from the new members of the faculty either. Thank you from all of us. Throughout your 3 years at this law school, you've always been known as a year that is exceptionally dedicated, keen, engaged, and thoughtful. And quite frankly, during this very, very strange pandemic year, I don't know how we would have made it through without you. You've demonstrated such a huge degree of understanding, of patience, of cooperation, and I think we've been so lucky to have you with us. So again, on behalf of all of us at the faculty, thank you for being you. But let's talk about your graduation now. As you know, graduation's a time when you are looking forward to your next step and what lies ahead. But I also think that graduation, perhaps even more importantly, is a time for you to look backwards as well, to think about where you've been and what you've done. And this isn't, as you know, a typical graduation, but that means that I don't have to give a typical graduation toast either. So why don't you just come with me for a second and let's just take a quick walk together, okay? Think back to your first day of foundations. Do you recognize the person that was sitting in these chairs? Now think about all the growth and change that you've experienced in law school. With the foundations, you even recognize yourself now? You've grown up, and you can be proud of that. Thousands of hours spent researching, reading, and writing in the library. Over the years, the content of what you learned may fade, but the skills will stay with you forever. What about your time in the moot courtroom, arguing either for the freedom and innocence of poor old Doug Judy, or perhaps arguing that he should be convicted and handed a stiff 4-year sentence in response for his dastardly crimes? Either way, I hope you had a fun time in your first year moot. Obviously, many of you are going to remember that problem years from now. And when you grow into experienced litigators, arguing at the Court of Appeal, arguing at the Supreme Court of Canada, you can look back to that moment in time when you were arguing in this very moot courtroom as the start of the illustrious litigation careers that I know many of you will have. Something even more important than all the knowledge you've acquired, all the skills that you've learned, are the relationships that you've built throughout your 3 years of this law school. Your friends, your colleagues, they're going to be the people that you rely on in the future when you need the answer to a file, when you need help on an issue that you're not familiar with. You're going to pick up the phone and you're going to call the people that you went to law school with. They're going to be there to help you. And it's because of the time that you've invested in those relationships and making friends at places like these. So in conclusion, here's a toast to you, the University of Alberta Faculty of Law graduating class of 2021. Cheers. Congratulations. You've earned it, and we're all very proud of you.
Thank you, Professor Samuel, for that excellent toast. We have now reached the part of the evening that I know many of you have been looking forward to, the valedictory address. Throughout our valedictorian's law school journey, she has achieved excellent grades and made waves in the academic community. She's also served as the president of Outlaw and as an editorial board member of the Alberta Law Review. Her academic and extracurricular success aside, however, our valedictorian was chosen by her peers due to her impact on the law school experience as a whole and her ability to represent the very best of what our year has to offer. We are so proud and happy to welcome to the screen this year's valedictorian, Nahani Falens.
Welcome, friends and family, faculty and staff, but most importantly, my fellow graduates of the class of 2021. Today is a day of pride. Pride in this amazing achievement, pride in ourselves knowing that the thousands of hours of reading and of agony over the rule against perpetuities is finally worth it. Today is also a day of gratitude as an opportunity to thank those who have supported us. Like every valedictorian, I'll ask my classmates to recall the first few days of law school. Bright-eyed, we all piled into 237 for foundations. It was a simple time when "it depends" wasn't the answer to every single question. And the hardest question you could get on a cold call was, what utensil best exemplifies you? We've come a long way since then, learning not only the substantive law, but, as the cliche goes, an entirely new way of thinking. We've survived challenges ranging from OCIs, exam 4 glitches on 100% finals, to the stress and uncertainty of navigating law school during a global pandemic. These challenges demonstrate the strength and resiliency of this class. Yet law school would have been next to impossible without the endless support that we've received. So to the friends, families, and partners, thank you. You survived the highs and lows of law school right alongside of us. Thank you for your endless patience, for your encouragement when we doubted ourselves, and for your understanding of our schedules and our mood swings around exams. To my fellow graduates, thank you for your encouragement, support, and friendship. This class has consistently worked together, jointly celebrating in our successes and encouraging each other through our challenges. I can't count the amount of times classmates have sent me notes, have counseled me through job rejections and imposter syndrome, and have supported me through the overwhelming pace of law school and the isolation of the pandemic. The past 3 years have taught me that just because you can do it alone doesn't mean that you should. We are stronger together as a community, and in that spirit, although I am absolutely honored to have been chosen as valedictorian, I've decided to do something a little differently and have invited my fellow valedictorian candidates to join me in sharing their thoughts, thanks, and advice for the class of 2021.
We could not be where we are today without the staff who worked tirelessly to support us, from the members of student services to our librarians. Thank you for your help and patience. Thank you to Pat, Bruce, and Laura in Career Services for your patience, excellent advice, and invaluable support during our highs and lows. And thank you to Steve for your positivity, generosity, and endless supply of caffeine.
I'd also like to thank everyone in our graduating class. Together, we've defied stereotypes about law students by working and playing nicely in all kinds of activities that vary almost as much as the grading standards in LRW. I hope that we hold on to the connections that we've made with each other, and that we continue to play nicely when we meet each other in the future, whether that's in the courtroom or across the negotiation table.
The faculty's Lrw and Moot Program is one of the greatest testaments to its community. Every year, the program provides students with an opportunity to grow as advocates, and perhaps more importantly, to build lasting friendships. But those opportunities wouldn't exist without the support of their peers and coaches, of professors, lawyers, and judges who are there at every step along the way.
Our rich and diverse experiences within these communities will serve us well as we step out into the world. Whether we're volunteering on the board of a parent-teacher association or with a local NGO, others will look to us to act with integrity, respectfully, and fairly. Thanks to the opportunities we've had, I know we are up for the task.
Although we never envisioned ourselves spending half of our law journey virtually, the sense of community that we developed never wavered during this transition. Students continued to support and encourage one another. Student organizations found new ways to connect with us. Professors adapted their methods to best teach us. And throughout this was Tim to make sure everything ran smoothly.
I'm sure I speak for many of us when I say that looking into the future and to what graduation means can bring about a lot of anxiety. We will be doe-eyed rookies thrown into the hot water of an extraordinarily traditional and typically archaic profession full of dinosaurs who love to say that they have always done it this way or that way. To this, I say, don't be afraid to shake it up and be confident in yourself. The boomers can handle it, I promise. I have all the faith that our amazing class is smart, capable, and will be the next big guns of the profession. And when in doubt, just remember the wise words of Justice Brown on our very first day. Dumber people than you have done it.
To be sure, challenges lie ahead, and at times these challenges will require sacrifices. But some sacrifices are not worth being made. And as we move on to these next stages of our lives, I urge you to not lose yourself. Hold on to whatever it is that brings you joy, and do not let go. Because life is not all dockets and billables and partnerships and promotions. It's so much more than that. So my hope for the class of 2021 is that we maintain the kindness, the generosity, and yes, the collegiality that has made the last 3 years of our lives great. Because whatever lies ahead, we can get by with a little help from our friends.
This is the last graduation for most of us. We now have the honor of joining one of the most empowered professions in the world. Through teaching us how to critically analyze arguments and evaluate evidence, our legal education has made us uniquely able to challenge and question established conventions. My hope is that we'll continue challenging and questioning in order to better ourselves, the legal profession, and society. Every one of you has shaped and impacted the law school culture. I can't imagine a better group of classmates and future colleagues. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you to Nahani Falens, Allison Jandura, Amber Langdon, Aidan Paul, Caitlin Tiller, Riley Schmidt, Courtney Yu, and Zachary Wilson for their inspiring words to our graduating class.
We are now approaching the end of our formal program, but we do have one more surprise for you before we wrap things up. This year's graduation committee has put together a short video celebrating just a few of our class's favorite moments and memories from the past 3 years.
And of course, what would a graduation banquet be, virtual or not, without an announcement of the much anticipated class-voted superlative awards?
Definitely. So, we hope you will enjoy this quick stroll down memory lane.
Well, folks, with that, our virtual graduation banquet is coming to its end. But before we finish, we would like to thank all of you once again for attending this special and unique celebration.
None of this would have been possible without our family and friends, the faculty and support staff, including the wonderful people in career services and student services, and most importantly, our peers.
The class of 2021 has always been a very special group of people, and we cannot wait to see what the future has in store for each and every one of you.
We hope that this virtual banquet reminded you of the incomparable energy our class has embodied since the very first day of law school. And we hope that you will all take this energy forward with you as you embark on your future careers.
We cannot wait to see each and every one of you again. And with that, we wish you a good night.
And good luck with the rest of the semester.